Welcome to my channel. For those who don't know me, my name is Rachel. I'm 20 years old and I live in Sydney, Australia. This is my first ever YouTube video and I'm quite nervous. To start off my YouTube channel, I thought it would be a good idea to talk about my long distance relationship since my boyfriend and I have been together for almost 4 years now. So I asked you guys from Instagram to leave me some questions to answer and we're going to jump straight into them now. So the first question comes from Mia Peasley, and I wanted to include this because I thought it was so sweet. Her question was, how are you holding up? Honestly, I'm doing really good right now. Kevin and I have never felt closer or stronger as a couple. Of course it is tough waiting for the next time we get to see each other or not knowing when we get to close that distance, but I'm holding up pretty well. Thank you for asking. The next question comes from Elise G. Marie, and she asks, did you have any doubts before deciding to be in a relationship, and if so, how did you overcome them? So for me, I wasn't really planning on being in a relationship at the time. It kind of just happened that way. I was also only 16 years old when Kevin and I got together, so it is quite young to start a relationship. It's funny, at the time I really didn't think about how difficult a long distance relationship might have been. I kind of just jumped straight into it without thinking about anything. I guess I just really liked him that much. So at the time, given that I didn't really think about it too much, no, I didn't have any doubts when it came to being in a relationship. And currently, I don't regret that decision at all. I know I was pretty young and I didn't think it through, but look where we've ended up, so. So the next question comes from Piper Rain. I think that's how you say it. I'm also in a serious long distance relationship and I wanted to ask what other people around you say about it. All my friends from high school were very supportive of my relationship when we started dating, and they still are so supportive now, which I'm very thankful for. They tell me that I'm lucky that I've managed to keep a relationship going overseas. In terms of my family, I did have a few family members at the start not really believe that our relationship would go anywhere. When Kevin and I first started dating, my parents weren't unsure about it. They were pretty supportive, although I don't think at the time they thought it would go anywhere either. And now they are so supportive and they love Kevin and they love having him stay here, and it's just been a really good experience. But definitely at the beginning, some family members just doubted my relationship, but now that they've all met him and they don't see us breaking up anytime soon, I do think I've gained that respect and that acknowledgement from my family members. All in all, it doesn't really matter what other people say about your relationship. You can't help who you fall in love with, so other people's opinions don't really matter. As long as you and the other person are happy and you are willing to give the same amount of trust, love and support for one another, then those negative opinions shouldn't even matter. The next question comes from Anita. How do you have enough money to visit each other? Money can be an issue when it comes to long distance relationships. I myself have never really had an issue saving up the money to go see Kevin. Since we've been dating, I've had 3 different jobs. Putting in the effort to actually work hard and save that money is very, very important if you want to go see the other person. The most difficult thing about that though is trying to get time off on a job that may not allow it. Luckily for me, the last 2 jobs that I had were fine with me going away, so I was able to go visit Kevin while still working at those jobs. But the job that I have now is super flexible. I can pretty much tell them that I'm going away and they'll be like, okay. So I guess I was lucky in that instance where my job hasn't really gotten in the way of us seeing each other. But being consistent with working and making sure you do save is very important if you want to go see them. Of course, it isn't always that easy. School gets in the way, other commitments get in the way. Kevin and I have been together for almost 4 years and we've only visited each other 3 times. We don't see each other a lot, but it is quite costly when we do see each other usually because it is at the end of the year around Christmas time. But I would just say that it is definitely achievable if you work hard and you maintain your goals. The next question comes from Nal and Christy. How do you actually keep in contact when the time zones are way different? So Kevin lives in Alabama in the USA and I live in Sydney, Australia, and our states are around 15 hours apart, give or take daylight savings. So it does actually work in our favor. From the moment I wake up until my late afternoon, that is the time I have to speak to Kevin. And for Kevin, it would be his late afternoon until late at night. Kevin is actually a night owl, so he doesn't mind staying up super late, which is good for me because it means more time to speak to him. But it is actually super easy for us to keep in contact because of that time frame we do get. The only thing that would make that difficult is work and school. So the next question comes from Daniela Ocean, and I also have a similar question from Kitty Oddstockings. The first is, how do you keep the spark even though you don't see each other every day? And how do you maintain intimacy in a long distance relationship? So from the very beginning of mine and Kevin's relationship, we have been having movie dates and we still to this day do that. That is one way that we decide to keep the spark going and keep intimacy. Doesn't really sound like much, but movie dates are actually the best. We get to share our interests with one another and we get to just have a really good time. Another thing Kevin and I did to keep spark and intimacy in our relationship was to send each other videos. This was more so in the first year of our relationship since Kevin was quite busy with university. We didn't Skype every single day. We made sure to send videos to one another to let the other person know what we were up to that day and that we miss them and we care about them and we're thinking about them. So just reminding your partner through a video how much you love and care for them can maintain that spark and that love in the relationship. Kevin and I have a really good relationship. We don't really need to force conversations or force movie dates. We just naturally get along and we love each other. The next question comes from Beth Digwood. Does your trust in each other ever get challenged because of long distance? Honestly, no, it doesn't. I have complete and 100% trust in Kevin. We have come so far in this relationship that I wouldn't even think about anything changing his mind. My only main concern would be other girls trying to hit on him or maybe make a move, but I trust him enough to handle those situations appropriately. Kevin and I actually do have promise rings and we wear them every day just as a symbol that we are dedicated to each other and that we would never stray away from one another. Also, Beth asked, how did you know Kevin was the one? I guess there really wasn't a specific time where I realized he was the one. If I had to choose a time in our lives where I really had thought about it, it would probably have been the first time I met him. We had been dating for 2 whole years before we actually met each other, and I was the one to fly over to Alabama and see him first. I just remember thinking that that was the best trip of my entire life. So I guess that was the time I knew he was the one. The next question is actually from Kevin's sister, Christy L. Trin, and she asked if we have any wedding plans, what the theme would be, and who the bridesmaids would be. So currently, living in 2 separate countries and only being 20 years old, we do not have any wedding plans. That would definitely have to wait until we were living together in the same country. I wouldn't want to plan a wedding still living apart from one another. It would be very, very difficult. Although I am not opposed to being married young. Obviously it wouldn't be within a year or 2 since I'm only 20, but I think maybe after 23 I would be happy. In terms of the theme, I am currently obsessed with plants, as you can see. So my wedding would have lots of greenery, and I would also want to keep it very clean and sophisticated, so have lots of whites and maybe silver. And I would also love to have like a blushy pink color like my blanket here. And in terms of the bridesmaids, that is going to be the toughest decision ever. But I can confidently say the first 2 people I would pick would be Christy, Kevin's sister, and Nicola, my sister. And lastly, to end the Q&A, I have a question from Benjamin Ben, Kevin's friend. He asks, when am I going to visit Birmingham next? So I am planning on flying over to America to see Kevin for his birthday in January 2019. The last time I was with him was actually February of this year, so it has been a very, very, very long time. But since we've been together for so long, I've learned to wait. So yes, I am planning to visit in January and probably up until maybe Valentine's Day in February. So let's hang out when you're in Birmingham. So those are all the questions I have picked for today. These questions were all taken from Instagram, so if you don't follow me on there, my Instagram is rachbeandes. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. If you have any more video ideas that you would like me to do in the future, don't forget to leave a comment down below or on my Instagram. And for this channel, I just plan on making videos about my relationship, about graphic design, maybe my martial arts training, and just general lifestyle videos. Once again, I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you in my next one. Bye!